Hello boys, welcome back to another session of online biology video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology students, and this is meant for 19th July 2021. As we have been discussing chapter number 3, human reproduction, all of us know that we had clarity about the anatomy, morphology and physiology of male reproductive system, female reproductive system. We also talked about how gametes, male gamete that is sperm and female gamete ovum are formed through gametogenesis. In particular, we say spermatogenesis and oogenesis. After that, we talked about an important concept called menstrual cycle. What are the various series of changes that take place within a span of 28 to 29 days in a matured female? How finally functional ovum gets released, and this leads to fertilization. And we also talked about the hormonal influence during this MC, menstrual cycle. And we also talked about how exactly the sperm, out of the millions, fastest sperm meets the waiting ovum at isthmus ampullary junction of the fallopian tube. And once the fastest sperm fuses with the waiting ovum at the ampullary isthmus junction of the fallopian tube, fertilization takes place. And fertilization results in the formation of embryo development. And now the embryo comes down, gets attached to endometrial wall, inner wall of uterus. Okay, and the attachment is called the embryo comes and attaches itself to the uterine wall. This we call it as implantation. So all these series of changes we were discussing, let's continue with that. So there is a connection tube called placenta, umbilical cord, fetus and the uterus. So as the embryo starts developing, we can see lot many changes. So what are those changes that take place? So during pregnancy, estrogens, female sex hormone, progesterone, again another female sex hormone, cortisol, stress hormone we call it sometimes, prolactin and thyroxine. These are all the hormones that are also increased in maternal blood. They support the fetal growth, metabolic changes in the mother and maintain pregnancy. So to maintain the pregnancy, all these are essential. These hormones are essential. And the germ layers give rise to organs or tissues. Basically, it starts with tissues, then organs. And thanks to cell differentiation. The stem cells in inner cell mass have the potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. This is very, very important. Of late, a lot of research is taking place in the world about stem cells. So stem cells are basically cells that are present during blastula stage. That is, say, 16 cell stage, 32 cell stage. Every cell has the potential to become any part. Like a single cell can become eye, the same cell can become heart, the same cell can become muscle, like that. So that is the potentiality of the stem cell. So nowadays the research is, if someone loses an organ, can we have this incorporation of stem cells in the body and make the stem cells to produce naturally that organ which is deficient in the body of an individual. So a lot of research is going on. You can just Google it, see how the countries like Israel, UK particularly are making their life forward with the stem cell research and stem cell medication. Already in UK, lot many operations are being done by introducing some stem cells, and they are very, very successful about it. That is the importance of stem cells which are present in the placenta. So even the placenta is of great value nowadays. So human pregnancy lasts for 9 months, of course, roughly gestation period we call it. For cats, it is just 2 months. For dogs, it is 2 months. For elephants, it is 21 months. Look at that, 21 months, right? So different timings for different animals. And what are the changes that take place during the pregnancy? Changes in the embryo. After 1 month, heart is formed. That is the great news. So within 1 month, heart is formed. End of second month, limbs and digits are developed. You can see the formation of hands and legs. The end of 12 weeks, that is first trimester. So it's a major development. We call it first trimester, first 3 weeks. And what do they do? Limbs will be formed, external genital organs will be formed, and the limbs are well developed as you are seeing here. And during 5th month, first movement of fetus and appearance of hair on the head. Look at that. First movement of the hair, presence of hair and well developed embryo, and movements start. So the mother feels the movement of the baby. And then end of 24 weeks, that is almost 6 months, second trimester, body is covered with fine hair and eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed. You can see the presence of, in the 6th month, the formation of eyelids and eyelashes. And then at the end of 9th month, that is 3rd trimester, it's everything, baby is fully formed, a matured baby is formed. We can see the presence of this, and it is ready to get out of the mother. Then, now that the baby is matured, as you are seeing here, now the parturition should take place. Separation of the matured baby from the uterus of the mother to outside. And once the baby is out, it requires nutrition, lactation through breastfeeding. The milk is to be provided. So parturition, we call it labor. It's a process of giving birth to young ones. It is induced by, this is important, neuroendocrine mechanism. So many hormones play a crucial role. So these signals from the fetus and placenta induce mild uterine contractions. So the muscles have to move, and once the muscles are moved, the baby is to push outside, and this happens because of fetal ejection reflex. This is most important, you must remember, fetal ejection reflex, and this causes the release of a hormone called oxytocin, happy hormone. It makes the muscles relax. Once the muscles relax, uterine walls relax, cervix relax, vaginal walls are relaxed, and it is easy for the separation, parturition. Okay, so oxytocin plays a crucial role. Oxytocin causes stronger uterine muscle contractions, which in turn stimulate further secretion of oxytocin. And this process is continued, leading to expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through a birth canal. As you are seeing here, look at the process of baby coming out, and I want you to observe that it is the head region that is coming out first. Okay, the head region that is coming out. And all this is happening because of the influence of oxytocin hormone. Sometimes there will be problems. The baby becomes ulta. Legs will be this side and head will be the other side. So the doctors will try and give some oxytocin injections and then make the baby. And if nothing happens, then they go for the surgery, okay, and remove the baby. So after parturition, the umbilical cord, which is the connection between the mother and the baby, is cut off. You can see here the uterus, the umbilical cord, okay, then the placenta, and you can see the here umbilical cord also, and the doctor is making it separated. The umbilical cord is cut. The placenta and the remnants of the umbilical cord are expelled from the maternal body after parturition. It is called after birth. And the mammary glands, once the baby is out, the mammary glands produce milk towards the end of the pregnancy. It is called lactation. So the baby has to be fed. And the yellowish milk produced during the initial few days of the lactation is called colostrum. Remember this word. And this is highly nutritive, and this enhances the immune system of the baby. So colostrum is a must for the baby. It contains several antibodies, look at that, essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. So the mother has to ensure that baby will be fed in the initial days so that colostrum will be there, so that the baby's resistance will be more. And this is how we ensure that the baby becomes